Hello everyone, welcome to Learn the Strategy with Alfa-PTE.com. Today we'll be talking about an important question of the reading module, which is reorder paragraphs. And let's discuss reorder paragraph in detail. So what is a reorder paragraph? For this type of question, you need to restore the original order of the text by selecting text boxes and dragging them across the screen. So basically, you will have a passage that will be an academic passage, and it will be broken into several sentences, and the sentences will be jumbled up. So your job is to put it in the right original order. Okay, so this is your task. Several text boxes appear on screen in a random order, so they will be jumbled up. Put the text boxes in the correct order, so you have to arrange them properly in the original order. You will only be assessed on the reading skills, so you will only get your marks in reading module. The number of sentences are never fixed. Sometimes the passage will be broken into 4 sentences, sometimes it will be broken into 5 sentences. So it's never fixed, and sometimes the sentences are short, sometimes they are long, so the length is also not fixed, but normally it will be up to 150 words. And as such, there is no fixed time in the reading module. So if you know, reading module will have a combined timing. That means if they will have 15 questions, so they will give an overall time of around 30 to 32 minutes. 30 to 32 minutes to solve those 15 questions. So if you waste a lot of times in the first question, then you lose a lot of marks because you end up missing out on the last questions. So, but you have to keep your eye on the clock. So normally I would suggest never to take more than 2 minutes to answer your reorder paragraph. 2 minutes is the maximum time that you can take to answer such kind of question. Let's discuss some more points about reorder paragraph. Reorder paragraph is a reading item type with a single correct order for the text boxes in a reading test. The item type tests your ability to understand the organization and cohesion of an academic test. So it basically checks whether you are able to understand how the passage is going and whether you are able to logically put it in the right order. You will have minimum 2 to maximum 3 questions in your exam, and it mostly comes in the middle. It hardly is ever the first or the last question. It always comes in the middle. You will get approximately 7 to 10 marks in this particular question type, but only in the reading. It doesn't give marks in any other module. Your scoring is based on partial credit. So you don't have marks for putting one sentence in the right order. You have marks for putting 2 sentences together. So if you put a pair together, that's when you get a score. So when we do an example reorder, then I will explain you how you will be scored. Let's discuss how we can attempt this question. There are 2 ways of attempting this question. So there are 2 ways you can move the text. So you will have a passage, you can't type it. All you have to do is drag and put it in the right order. Left click on the box and select it. It will be outlined in blue color. Hold the left mouse and drag it to the desired location. Left click on the box to select it, and then left click on the left and right arrow buttons to move it across. On the right panel, you can also use the up and down arrow buttons to read to the reorder paragraph. So you can deselect the box and you can click elsewhere. So the marking criteria, the score on reorder paragraph is based on the following factors. Your response for reorder paragraphs is judged on your ability to understand the organization and cohesion of an academic text. If all text boxes are in correct order, you will receive the maximum score for this question. If one or more text boxes are in wrong order, then partial credit scoring applies. That means they will count the pairs. Whatever is right, you will get score for that. Whatever is wrong, you will not get any score for that. You won't get a score based on individual position of each paragraph, all right? So you will get each pair for correct adjacent boxes. So you don't, for example, an answer is A, D, B, C. You get 1 mark for putting A, D, 1 mark for putting D, B, and 1 mark for putting B, C. You don't get single mark for putting A in the first box and C in the last box. There are no negative marks. There is no negative marking. So if you have 1 right pair and 1 wrong pair, you will still get 1 mark. So you will only get marks for the right pair. You will not get any marks or negative marking for the wrong pair. Let's discuss some important tips that you can use when it comes to solving this kind of question. When you start attempting this question, your first goal objective should be to identify the leading paragraph, the first sentence. This is often easy as the first sentence has some unique characteristics. That means it's like an introduction. It shows you the subject, what it's going to talk about. Look for independent sentence. Your first sentence will always be an independent sentence. If there is more than one independent sentence, then the one which is more general will be your first sentence. Look for nouns and pronouns, and it can be a noun pronoun relationship. Noun will be the subject and it will be followed by a pronoun which will be the object. You can also look for connecting words like however, therefore, because, which indicates the sentence which are preceding these words. So sentences starting with however and therefore and because are very rarely the first sentences. So that will give you a clue that yes, this is not the first sentence. Once you have found the leading paragraph or the first sentence, you should look for the next paragraph. Every sentence will give you a clue about the next sentence. There are two things to consider. First, the second paragraph should add on to what the first paragraph introduced. And second, this paragraph should have a link with something in the previous paragraph. For example, in the first sentence, they said, Apple is a very famous company. It is known for manufacturing mobile phones also. So it is referring to Apple. So noun and pronoun relationship. So it has having some link with the previous paragraph. Once you have arranged all paragraphs in the right order, make sure you read them again. Sometimes in subsequent reading, you will feel that a paragraph can be moved to another place. Probably it will look better there. So do it and see how it looks and see whether it changes the meaning or it makes better sense. At times, you will be confused between different paragraphs. Then you should put each paragraph in a position one by one and see which one looks better and which one shows the meaning of the text in a better manner. In any reading that you do, begin seeing how sections and paragraphs are connected to one another. The best way to do this is to log into alfa-PTE.com and solve the reorder paragraphs as much as possible, because they're all from the real exam questions. When you do that, try to make some connection between the sentences and see why this sentence will be the first one and this will be the second one, the other one is third and fourth. So this expertise is at the center of the reorder paragraph question type. Begin seeing how sections change starting with one text or the other text and see how each sentence is connected with one another. Remember, if nothing works, focus on the pairing of the sentences and you will get marks based on your pairs, because at the end of the day, it's not according to the position, it's according to the pairing. Let's look at this example. So here I have 4 reorder paragraphs and I will have to drag and drop them in the correct order. Okay, so I will have reorder paragraphs like this and my job will be to drag and drop them. So I have to just drag and put it here and arrange it according to my according to my knowledge. Okay, So let's look at the first one. Since European settlement, they have had to compete with a range of introduced animals for habitat, food and shelter. Who are they? So they is not an independent sentence. So you cannot use this because this is not independent. It's a pronoun. So it's not an independent sentence. So it's not the first sentence. These new pressures again not independent. So it's talking about some pressure that they've already mentioned, have caused a major impact on our country's soil and waterways and on its native plants and animals. Some have also had to face new predators. Also means also will always come in the second part. I am going to India. I am also going to Thailand. So also will come in the second part. Australia's native plants and animals adapted to life on an isolated continent over millions of years. Yes, looks independent. So out of all these three sentences, out of all the given four sentences, only D looks independent. So according to me, D will be the first sentence. Okay. Moving on. So let's select D as the first sentence. So you select means you drag and get it in the next box. Then native plants and animals adapted to life on an isolated continent over millions of years. So where native plants and animals are what? It's a noun, but it's a plural noun. So where are they still continuing about that? Since European settlement, they have had to compete with a range of introduced animals for food and shelter. So who are they? They are these Australian native plants and animals. So it is A. Then what happened? Some also have to face new predators. So first what they did, they had to compete with introduced animals. Then they also had to face new predators. So it's a continuation. So it is C. Then last but not the least, these new pressure. These means it should be more than one pressure. One pressure is here, competing with introduced animals. The other pressure is facing new predators. So these new pressures also have caused a major impact on our country's soil and waterways and on its native plants and animals. So it is D, A, C and B. So you will not get 1 mark for each box. You will get 1 mark for each pair. So if I am putting D and A together, then I will get 1 mark for DA, 1 mark for AC and 1 mark for C and B. Okay. Say for example, my answer was not DA, CB. My answer was D, C, A and B. So although D and B, they are in the right position, but DC is not a pair, CA is not a pair, AB is also not a pair. So my answer will be wrong, wrong, wrong. So I don't get any marks for any pair and I will end up getting 0. Okay, so here I am getting marks for pairing. So DA check, AC check, CB check, 3 pairs, 3 marks. It's not compulsory that they will only give you 1 mark per pair. It depends on the difficulty level of the question and that will decide your marks. So that's how you are scored in reorder paragraph and that's how you're supposed to do it. Moving on. There are certain rules to solve reorder paragraphs which can be very useful. You can find them on alfa-PTE.com. Log into alfa-PTE.com, click on grammar and under grammar you can find rules for reorder paragraphs. They are very helpful and they're explained beautifully. So please go through them, read them, understand them, as they will surely help you when it comes to solving your reorder paragraphs. Thank you so much for watching. For more updates, follow our Facebook page and join our Telegram group for free assessment. Take care.